In this episode, we talk about films and TV from the year 2015.
Hello, you're listening to the Sci-Fi Ideas podcast, episode 13. I'm Mark Ball, and here's the other one.
Oh, sorry, was that...
Yes, you're the other one.
That Mike keeps coming. The other one.
The other Ball.
David Ball.
The other Ball.
Brothers,
two
not
balls in
married.
a bag.
Don't say that.
So this is our last podcast of the year being 2015, by the way, in case you're listening in the future.
Everyone will be listening in the future, because nobody is listening now.
Yes.
But if you are listening now...
Maybe people are listening like 20 years in the future or something.
It'll be now for you. Nobody's going to be listening to 20 years in the future.
Why not? Maybe they've just discovered us, like in a lead.
Because it takes that long for people to discover us. Yeah.
Buried.
What if this was the last thing that survived out of humanity? Maybe this is. Everything else from humanity has been wiped out.
And some aliens are digging this up.
Yeah, that's it. A USB a flash drive with this on it.
Yeah.
We are representing humanity right now.
Wow. Hello, Zygonians.
Don't be racist. They're not Zygonians. Are we definitely recording?
Yes,
This is
the
podcast
yes.
right now. Oh, right. Great.
So we are going to make this our year review podcast. Is that right?
Yes. So we're going to talk about
idea.
things that have been posted to the Sci-Fi Ideas website in 2015. We're going to talk about some films that have been out. And
then some TV shows, and we're going to have a bit of a moan and say, oh, weren't they all rubbish?
Yeah. Because they all were. Every bit of TV is rubbish. It's not as good as it used to be in the good old days. Of when are the good old days?
I don't know. I guess the 90s. But when you think about it,
I don't know.
Sequest DSV, was that really that good? You know?
No, it really wasn't. Do you think that the reason that some TV shows are not as good these days is because it's all been spread out too thin?
Oh, maybe.
Like a long time ago, like a couple of decades ago, there was only a few things on TV, really. Like in England, we only had like 4 channels when I was growing up, and so each of those things was probably quite good. But then, now, you've got hundreds of thousands of channels.
Well,
budgets
have been spread a bit thinner, I think, yeah. But you kind of got this the wrong way around. I think before, everything had to be a broad appeal, because everyone was going to watch one of 2 or 3 things. Whereas now you can appeal to a specific audience. So
yeah, like
I remember couldn't have had The Walking Dead in the 90s.
I remember watching a quiz show about sport because it was funny. But I was like, now I'd never watch anything about sport.
It was on.
Bloody hate sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just because it was the best thing that happened to be on at that time.
Yeah.
Whereas now,
because on the other channel, it was probably actual sport.
Whereas now I've got millions of channels to choose from. I've got the internet, so I could go anything on YouTube. I could watch Netflix. I could watch Amazon Prime.
You could pretty much watch sci-fi or fantasy constantly.
And that's what you do, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm subscribed to like 3 different streaming services, and I just go from one sci-fi or fantasy to the next.
Do you think, this is a question that's kind of based on what you just said there, do you think that, obviously we have Netflix and we have all the services like that, do you think that they're going to split out a bit so that you pay one for the genre that you want?
Possibly. I like the idea.
I don't.
No?
I don't like the idea because that means that you pick the genre and then that then becomes you and your identity, and you don't see anything outside of your little bubble. Yeah. And I feel like then that becomes your entire persona, and then you see someone else at work or at school or whatever, and they're the other one. Yeah. They subscribe to the other service. They're not like you.
Yeah.
You're Netflix, they're Amazon Prime, or whatever it would be.
And then it ends up in a war.
Yeah, a war of...
warring factions.
Yeah, it's kind of racism. They're not like me because they like sport.
So this is the year in which James Paley took us on a tour of the solar system. In his sciencey words, segment
Good.
on the website.
Yep.
I want to talk about this a bit because this has never been properly explained to Sci-Fi Ideas subscribers. James has his own blog, Planet Paley, which is excellent.
Yep. Loads
of science talk, simplifying quite complex science things. And throughout this year, he's been focusing on... He's doing this tour of the solar system where he's dedicated 1 month to each planet, and then also done a month for asteroids as well.
Okay.
We at Sci-Fi Ideas, we take his sciencey words and republish them. We're running about a month or two behind his blog, so at the end of the year we won't have quite done the whole solar system.
Yeah, okay.
But he's got his Molecular Mondays posts and various other articles dedicated to whatever planet he's at the time. So
I love Molecular Monday.
it's brilliant, isn't it? So if you're interested in science, want to maybe learn a bit more about science and science fiction and the solar system, I really do recommend going to his website and looking back through the year. And if you've enjoyed the sciencey words, basically, there's so much more that links in with it.
Yeah, so. His articles are really good, and he has really cool drawings associated with them.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it feel a bit more friendly, makes it feel accessible.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of cartoony. It's a bit science, but it's quite well explained, so it feels
it's
like
reading a kid's textbook in a way. I find.
I don't know. Don't make it sound like it's school.
He simplifies it and makes it friendly, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Appeals to my childish sensibilities.
Yes, and he does a very good job.
What else have we done this year?
Lots and lots of starting points.
Lots of starting points, yeah.
We won't talk about them all because it'll take forever.
What's your favourite starting point from this year?
Oh, man. Oh, I really liked the one... I can't think of its name, but it had the picture of the old lady with a baby looking out of a spaceship window.
Artemis, I think it was called, yes.
That was the one, and I can't remember what it's about. Oh my god!
This is where Dave can't remember any of the starting points from the entire year.
Oh no, I can't.
It was
written by you, wasn't it?
It was written by me. It's quite a recent one. It's an old woman who has spent all of her adult life on this spaceship. She's had kids and got grandkids, and they're finally reaching their destination, this other planet. And she's being a bit sentimental, saying that she's loved her life, but it's all in jeopardy now because they've got to the other planet and it turns out there are aliens there. They knew this all along, but they've developed faster than they'd anticipated. So, how advanced are they? How much of a threat are they? Why have they been so stupid to go to this inhabited planet? It seems like a mistake to me.
Maybe they had no choice. Maybe they're forced out of where they were.
Maybe
they
just want to go and meet them. They have sent a probe already, but as we said in the last episode about why don't they use probes in Star Trek? Because they could have the human touch. We want to get out there and meet people. Yeah.
Okay. So there's been quite a few comments on that, which is really nice. I won't read them all out, but it's obviously one that people have thought could be expanded, but I haven't seen any stories written about it yet.
Not yet.
But some of the starting points we have had stories written about, continued and stuff.
Yes, we've recently had a continuation of my Ghosts. I've also been informed that somebody is trying to develop that into a short film as well.
Yes.
That will be amazing if that happens.
Cool.
I'll be so proud.
I know, that'd be great. What was your favourite starting point?
I think I'm going to have to go with James Paley's one as well. Not to talk too much about James, but I can't remember the name of it. It's one set on Venus, where this woman is being kicked out of a floating mining platform, I think it was, which is an interesting idea.
Okay.
And she gets kicked out, and basically is falling to her death, we think.
Oh, literally kicked out?
Literally kicked out of this flying base. Does she die, or does she survive somehow?
Has Venus... Right, I don't really remember what Venus is like. Does it actually have land, or is it a gas? Is it gaseous?
It has land. It's very much like Earth, Venus. It's
okay.
The closest... most similar to Earth, but it's very, very hot. The surface, the atmosphere, there's a lot of pressure, makes the surface really hot.
So she does fall to the surface. She's not going to last very long.
Yeah. She's in a suit, and she's heard rumours that some other people who've been kicked out have survived for a time on the surface before
so
the suits melt.
Okay. So there might be a colony down there.
There might be a colony, or maybe she's on a rope and this guy's just scaring her. We don't know why he's kicking her out. It's so open.
Could it be interesting that, say, like 3 people are being kicked out, and one person started making some sort of shelter or something, and the second person found it because the first person died.
Yeah.
The second person, started finishing it off.
And everyone's added a little bit, and she could be the one that gets there just in time to finish it and survive. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. So, okay, there's a story that somebody can write.
I think somebody in the comments suggested that maybe they're going to catch her. They're just doing this to scare her or to warn her.
So it's like an opening scene to add some sort of peril.
That's it. It's just the ultimate kind of opener, isn't it? Somebody being kicked off a floating platform to a doom. It's just the ultimate way to start a story.
That is quite cool. Any other articles you want to talk about?
Let's talk about what are the most popular articles from this year. What has everybody else enjoyed?
Are you asking me? Because I have the actual stats.
You have the
here.
Stats. That's why I'm asking. Because I know that you have the stats.
The most popular article posted this year was an article about solarpunk by Roanna Silva.
Ah, yes.
I suppose the punk comes from things like cyberpunk and steampunk. So it's just another sort of theme. And that's... how would you describe it? Kind of all about just being sort of light and airy and...
It's about the impact of the sun.
Recycling things.
It's about the impact of the sun and how that impact is going to become even more important in future years because we're going to use solar power. The sun's going to become very harmful as the ozone layer depletes.
So it's kind of like where steampunk is all about steam power, solarpunk is all about
solar power, yeah. But it also ties in with a certain kind of style and... Well, in this article, she's saying that it's got to be kind of an optimistic style as well.
Well, the pictures I've seen are all very light and bright and have a lot of green foliage, and it's like
a lot of green. It's kind of like eco-punk as well, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. People living amongst nature, but using technology.
Somebody in the comments said it's kind of like elves, a bit elvish.
What, like futuristic elves?
Yeah, because it's about living close to nature and perhaps living in trees and.
It's more of a visual style than a writing style, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I thought it was interesting in this article. She's implied that it's also got to be more positive stories, but I don't think that's necessarily true because I think the punk implies social discord. That's what that's what punk means in this context. In terms of cyberpunk, cyber technology, and social discord.
Interesting, sort of.
I think this already exists.
Well,
it looks slightly different. Think about Tank Girl. I think that's solar punk.
Tank Girl. So that's.
It doesn't have the nicey and the greenery. It's just set in deserts, but it's about the power of the sun.
It's never been about that anything. It's kind of like Mad Max, but with
exactly, yeah. You could class that as solar punk, but Mad Max is more about oil, isn't it?
Well, yeah, true.
But it's still kind of in a desert world where nature's gone a bit wrong because.
Okay. Well, moving on then. So the second most popular article was the "What If 50 Ideas for Alternate History Scenarios," and this was written by you.
By me. I think you thought of some of them as well. I remember writing this on holiday. Well,
oh right, yeah.
Looking at some sheep.
Okay, so I'll read a few that I'm kind of randomly picking out. So, what if Charles Darwin had sought political office? What if Henry VIII had been impotent? What if the US had received advanced intelligence about the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor?
Which apparently they did. I think somebody wrote in the comments that
really?
They possibly did and ignored it or something. I don't know. Conspiracy theory. Something
that could have changed the course of the war.
Absolutely.
And then how would that have changed, the time that we're living in now? Yeah. What if Neanderthals had not become extinct? So, like, maybe we're living side by side with this other race of humans. Yeah. What if all human lifespans were limited to only 35 years? That sounds very Logan's Run.
Ah, yeah.
What if the Black Death had never occurred? So that's the That's the plague in the Middle Ages. Is that the Middle Ages?
Yeah.
That wiped out loads and loads of people.
Yeah.
What if there was no oil in the Middle East?
Ooh.
Interesting. So you could have a story about... In fact, I don't know what you'd have a story about.
Yeah, it's kind of saying that there's no story in the Middle East. There's nothing interesting there.
I suppose you could extrapolate from that and think about how it would have affected the whole rest of the world.
Yeah. So maybe other places with oil, like Texas, would be...
There's an oil rush in Antarctica or something.
Yeah, and that would be a centre for conflict instead of the Middle East.
Okay. What if all humans were vegetarians, having never evolved the ability to digest meat?
There are some strange things in this list, aren't there? I think my favourite is, what if there was no such thing as horses?
Actually, that is a really interesting one. Because society would be, like 100 years less advanced, probably, wouldn't we?
I don't know. Somebody in the comments suggested we'd just use oxen. Which we did anyway, so...
These are kind of interesting for
the
ideas
male
for,
would be a bit slower.
Yeah, but horses are used for farming, and I think...
Yeah, but oxen were perfectly good for that as well. And elephants...
I suppose. Imagine, the whole world has elephants.
Maybe Paul Revere wouldn't
workhorse.
be able to go very fast. And...
You breed very large badgers.
Maybe.
So these are useful for alternate, what would you say, time travel stories? Like maybe your characters travelled in the past and changed something.
Yeah, or just general alternate history. You don't really need to justify it, do you?
I suppose so. I'm thinking more like Sliders, where they go to different parallel universes all the time.
Yeah. Like Shark World.
Moving on then, the third most popular article this year is How to Create an Alien Species in 3 Stages by Veronica Sikoe.
Ah, yes. Very good article.
Yep, very useful. Go read that.
Links in the show notes.
Links in the show notes, yep. Science is the Bad Guy Now by Stephen Lyle Jordan.
Ah, yes.
So that's about this kind of a modern theme that science and scientific stuff is kind of
in the movies. Science
negatively.
Yes, science is always the bad guy. Science causes problems rather than solving problems.
Right.
Which
like scientists doing crazy things
causes a problem. Someone's got to go and fix it. But rather than there being a problem and a scientist comes along and fixes it by creating something good.
Okay.
It's just a bit of a theme in the movies, and it's quite interesting that might have a bit of a social impact, on the way that we view science. And we do tend to think about innovation quite negatively because we kind of fear change. We fear new things, don't we? I guess maybe that's why. I guess maybe films are just expressing that distrust of the new.
Oh, I don't like it. I like a bit of science. I like a bit of good science.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And then I'll finish on the fifth most popular article this year was Let's Talk About What Simon Pegg Said, which was it was timely.
It was a controversial comment on, was it his own blog?
I think it was on Twitter, I'm not quite sure, but Simon Pegg talked about the dumbing down of cinema.
Yeah.
And because he's quite a sci-fi fan.
He's a big sci-fi fan. He has a habit of upsetting people, though, of saying things that the fans don't like. And but
he's
trouble.
But like any sci-fi fan, he's opinionated about it.
Yeah,
and he wants to tell people his opinion.
Yeah.
And so what I think he's doing is looking at films like, or the Marvel films, the superhero films, and it's not really sci-fi, but it's there's obviously sci-fi elements in there. It's not, that sort of thing's not that clever.
He's talking about action films, I think, primarily, about how they're all a bit kind of flashbang wallop and lacking in substance, maybe. But what did he actually say? Let's look at what Simon Pegg actually said.
Okay, so there's a quote that you've got in bold. Obviously, I'm very much a self-confessed fan of science fiction and genre cinema, but part of me looks at society and as it is now and just thinks we've been infantilized by our own taste.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I said. That he sees it as dumbing it down.
So before Star Wars, The films that were box office hits were The Godfather, Taxi Driver, Bonnie and Clyde, The French Connection, gritty, amoral art movies. Then suddenly the onus switched over to spectacle, and everything changed.
Ah, yeah, okay.
The more spectacle becomes the driving creative priority, the less thoughtful or challenging the films can become.
Yeah.
So it's about, too much
I sort
wow.
of agree with him, but I do like a big spectacle.
Yeah.
That is what you go to the cinema for.
I think the thing is, he's growing up, and he wants more adult films, maybe, and that's fine.
Adult? I don't think he wants adult films. I think that's a separate thing.
He did issue kind of a rebuttal because he upset he upset a lot of fans by saying we're all essentially consuming very childish things. Comic books, superheroes, adults are watching this stuff and taking it seriously. So people are like, oh wow, he's insulting me. He's insulting the fans of...
But he's also insulting himself because he likes those things.
Yeah. So he had to issue this kind of rebuttal on his blog, kind of explaining what he meant. And he just said, look, basically, I'm growing up. It's finally time for me to put away childish things. Which you can't blame him for, you know. Well, at the same time, he's writing the new Star Trek film.
Maybe that's good, though, because the first Star Trek film was all about spectacle.
Yeah, this
didn't
is very
have
encouraging.
Too much substance.
That's why I didn't like it. I thought it was too... I completely agree about Marvelized things being too much spectacle, not enough substance. So hopefully the new Star Trek film will be more substance, less flashbang.
I think you need a bit of spectacle. You need a bit of spectacle at the start to get people involved, to get people interested. So I was very happy with the first film. Second one, I wanted it to move into some substance, but it's unfortunately... I don't know what the hell happened.
Again, if people are listening to this in the future, they might be shaking their heads and going, "Oh, they were so optimistic about that film."
About the third Star Trek film was actually the worst of the lot. Well, it might have been. It might be. I don't know.
Wait and see.
We can just wait and see. Okay, should we move on to films that we've seen? Or no, films that have been out this year.
Films from this year.
Okay. I've got up in front of me a list of IMDb most popular sci-fi feature films released in 2015. At the time that we're recording, some of these haven't actually been released yet.
Yes.
So there's Star Wars Force Awakens.
It's already the most popular, even though it hasn't been released.
It's actually second on there because the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
Okay.
Which I don't know. I'm not a big follower of the Hunger Games series, so I don't know if that's out or not. Maybe it is. But anyway, it probably will be out by the time somebody listens to this. So I don't know much about these things. You've seen
I've seen
1 and 2?
1, 2 and 3. I've seen Mockingjay Part 1. I'm not a fan. I find them quite dull.
A lot of people are, though, so what are people getting out of it?
It's got a young adult audience who think it's really good, and fair play to them. It's not bad. I just find it a bit boring. I kind of feel like I've seen it all before. But
that's it. But I suppose some people might not have seen it all before.
Yeah, to them
remember,
it's
we've
new
watched
and
a lot
amazing.
of films.
Yeah, great.
And some people, if growing up now in this era, if you've not seen things, the post-apocalyptic...
If you've never seen people be forced to fight to the death before, then it's a fantastic new concept.
Have we seen people fight to the death?
Oh God, yeah.
What was that Arnold Schwarzenegger film? When they forced to fight in that?
I don't know. I can't remember. I can think of at least 2 episodes of Star Trek where it's happened. 3 actually. Yeah. But yeah, it also delivers some
one with the Rock in Voyager.
dystopia. The first film is very much about the fighting to the death, but as the film's gone on, the character has become a hero to the people, and there's now this revolution happening, which is fairly exciting. Ish. I'm not bothered myself, but no, it's alright. It's alright.
Sounds like Planet of the Apes with humans.
Yes.
I should use that as a tagline. Okay, so what do you think about Star Wars? New Star Wars is coming out.
I don't think about it because it hasn't happened yet. There's nothing for me to think.
People are excited about it. It's everywhere right now.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm not getting involved in the hype because
and it's a big thing this year. This is 2015. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it before it comes out, though. It might be good, it might be crap.
Let's move on, I suppose, because we can talk about that in a future...
Yeah. There's The Martian, I haven't seen.
Oh, you need to watch. I
think I'll enjoy it.
Yeah. I was disappointed, I will say that. Helen's been reading the book, and she keeps reading out passages to me, just little bits that he says. It's all like in first person from his, written in his voice. Yeah. And he's got a dry sense of humour, but it's quite funny the way that he says these things. I really expected that in the film, but I was a bit let down that it wasn't quite as funny as I thought it would be.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure that the casting's fine.
It's Mark Wahlberg, though. Is it Mark Wahlberg? Yeah. Or is it Matt Damon?
No, it's Matt Damon.
Sorry, I get them mixed up. Well,
his clone.
Neither of them are particularly funny.
I think the problem is not him. Actually, I think I'm going to say something that's controversial.
Yeah.
I think the problem is the director.
Oh.
And at the time, I was thinking, oh, the director's got this all wrong. The director's rubbish. Obviously, they've given this to an amateur director who doesn't know what he's doing. Do you know who the director is?
Who?
Ridley Scott.
Oh.
Ridley Scott, who knows what he's doing. He's done lots of really good films.
Ridley Scott used to know what he was doing.
Then Prometheus happened.
Yeah, he's gone well off the rails now, hasn't
he? He has put together a good film, but he's not, in my opinion, put together a great film.
Do you know what? I think Ridley Scott's overrated and really controversial. I've said it before. I think Blade Runner is overrated.
What?
I think it's good, but I think it's overrated.
I think it's a trendsetter. I think it was the first of its type.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got to give him credit for creating a world with a great feel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Blade Runner.
Definitely.
But that's what comes from the director, and that's what Ridley Scott put into it.
Yeah.
So he has done a very good job.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on anyway. I think you should watch it, and I think everyone should watch it here, because it's actually got some really good science in it, and it's unusual to have a science fiction film that's got science in. It's sad state of affairs. Is it
science fiction, or is it just science?
Well, it's science fiction because it's set...
Is it set in the future, or is it...
It's set in the sort of future.
Yeah, it's very close to now, though. It's more kind of like just space adventure.
Yeah, it's realistic, and there's no technology in there that we haven't got now.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it has quite a big spaceship
kind
in
of
it.
Apollo 13 on Mars.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, next one on there is Ant-Man. Have you seen Ant-Man?
I haven't seen Ant-Man yet.
Oh, man, come on. It's such a good...
There's so many things on this list I haven't seen.
It's such a good popcorn movie.
Yeah.
It's just one of those, kind of turn your brain off, because it's not going to require too much thought.
Same as all the other Marvels.
All the other Marvel films. I love them, though.
Bit of fun. Move on.
It's a bit... The feeling that I've got with it, though, is a bit like Thor, the original Thor.
Yeah.
First half of the film, it took me a while to get into it. Like, it was a bit serious. It was a bit taking itself too seriously.
The original Thor was terrible.
I'm not talking about the original, 70s Thor. I'm talking about
the first Thor film was terrible.
Oh, I thought you liked it. Anyway, the first half, it took a bit of... quite a lot to get into, and you're like, oh, God, this is a bit weird, and they're taking it too seriously for a silly subject. But then, after a while, it becomes hilarious.
Yeah.
It becomes brilliant. Because I was really nervous about Paul Rudd, because he's a very good comic actor. I was really nervous at the start, thinking, oh, he's not been as funny as in other Paul Rudd roles. But then after a while, it becomes very funny. Not really because of him, but I think because of the side characters. And yeah, it becomes very good. Anyway, there's a giant ant, a giant actual ant that starts running around. It just becomes this just one calamity after another, and it becomes brilliant. Yeah,
sounds like it's Marvel doing what Marvel does best.
Exactly, they do just good old fun.
Yeah.
Moving on then to the next one on the list, which is Maze Runner: The Scorched Trials.
Yeah, I didn't know this was out actually. I see the first Maze Runner, which was not bad. Again, it's a young adult, based on a novel, I think, young adult novel. It's quite good. I went into it. This is the first one, not the new one.
Not this one. Okay.
I thought it was going to be terrible, so I was quite pleasantly surprised by it. Actually, it's not a great film, but it's an interesting premise, and it's a weekend film, a Saturday afternoon film.
Why should I watch it though?
Guy wakes up in this kind of big open parkland in the middle of a maze, and he's trapped, and there are all these other people there who are all trapped. Yeah, there's a maze surrounding them, and like nobody's ever been able to get through this maze, so they're all stuck in there, and they live in there.
They live there?
Yeah, there's kind of like a Robinson Crusoe settlement that they've set up, and new people are delivered occasionally. Is this some kind of penal colony? And is it actually possible to escape? And the maze is full of monsters as well. It's like, why are they here? Who's put them there? What's the purpose of the maze and all of this?
Oh, right.
And can they find a way out?
Right.
So I've got an interesting premise for a family action film.
Okay. Obviously it continues, so they'll find all the answers. Okay. Fine, I might watch it in that case. I just feel like things like that, I feel like there's a whole set of films that aren't for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about it. I feel like it's not marketed at me, so even though I'm a sci-fi fan, it seems to be targeted at a younger generation.
Well, I'll just say this. If you've got a Saturday afternoon spare, maybe you're painting your Warhammer models or something, whatever you do on a Saturday afternoon, stick it on. It's worth a go.
Right. Okay, but it doesn't require your full attention.
No.
All right, okay. Next one down then, Terminator Genisys.
Again, I haven't seen it. Oh,
I didn't see it at the cinema because I heard it was not very good. And also, the trailer seemed to give away most of the film, so it feels like I have watched it. Unless there was more twists in there, I don't know. But there seems to be
we can't comment, so let's not.
Yeah, fine. Okay, next one, Jurassic World.
Yes, brilliant.
You've seen this, haven't you?
Yeah, loved it.
Brilliant.
Absolutely loved it.
I didn't love it.
Do you not love it? Oh.
I didn't love it, no. I love the original, and I think the original Jurassic Park is either my favourite or second favourite film of all time.
It's impossible to beat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What's the other one? You say it might be second. What would it be second to?
Oh, that's for another podcast.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll leave that little mystery there. Maybe people can guess and tweet us at sci-fi_ideas.
I think for me it's second or first or second. It's up there with The Thing for me.
The Thing. All right. Yeah. Wow. Let's not talk about The Thing. That's not this year.
Okay.
Nothing much we can say about Jurassic World.
No, it's just amazing. See it, dinosaurs. Wow.
I felt like it needed a bit more of that Marvel humour that we just talked about.
I think it had a lot of humour in it. It had the right amount of humour. Any more, and it would have been silly. It would have been farce.
It had Nick from New Girl, and I wanted a bit more of him because he is a very funny guy. And he had the dinosaurs on his desk. And just like I've got dinosaurs on my desk.
It had some really good character humour, physical humour. It wasn't one-liners, it wasn't quips. The kids, the relationship between them, I thought was very funny. There were just
I missed
little, subtle things.
I really wanted that, but I missed it completely, so I don't know where you even getting that from.
I'll rewatch it.
Maybe then. Colin Trevorrow, the director of Jurassic World, he's directed some things before that I've seen, and I'm very happy with his directing style, and I just didn't feel that it came across in this for me. Anyway, maybe it's just me. Yeah. A lot of people like it. A lot of people sort of on the fence.
It definitely stands up to a second viewing. There'll be things that you'd missed, I think.
Raises questions then. Where's the franchise going to go from there? Are we going to get Jurassic World 2?
I don't know.
Could we expand it into a full, full universe like Marvel's?
Well, they're not going to rebuild the park again, are they? Let's be honest.
No, but
who keeps giving them liability insurance?
But animals escape from zoos all the time.
Yeah. Does this mean we're now going to have Jurassic Park 2 again? That's not a remake, but just the same thing happening.
But notice they've called it Jurassic World. You could do Jurassic World 2 and not be about a park. It could be about those animals.
They get out into the wider world.
Into the wider world.
It's kind of like Flintstones situation.
You could have a sort of Planet of the Apes thing where there's a virus causing the humans to decrease their population a bit, and then we have to sort of like live with these dinosaurs that just happen to be around.
A Flintstones situation.
So, I'm not thinking of Flintstones. I'm thinking more of a kind of Fallout world,
Right.
a post-apocalyptic world
Do you
with
think
dinosaurs.
it's going to be like Raptor version of Caesar?
No, I don't. I don't think that it's not Dinotopia where the dinosaurs can talk.
Oh, they can though.
That the world that we live in can completely change and become different with these dinosaurs stomping around in it, where we're kind of living in fear of the dinosaurs. More like do you remember the computer game Turok?
Yes, I do.
Like this guy walking around, and there's obviously guns around, so it must be set after modern times. But there's dinosaurs, and so
people riding dinosaurs. Yes,
yeah,
that's amazing. Can we make it solar punk as well?
Maybe, yeah. So the next film is
Mad Max. Fury Road. I haven't seen this either.
Oh my God, Mike!
I know.
You said you were a sci-fi fan. Where?
I've been at home streaming films, streaming older films, streaming the films that I didn't see last year.
Right. So this time next year, we're going to do
a review of
another
review
of that
Mad
year.
Max.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't think there's much sci-fi in there though. So on this list, it's post-apocalyptic, but
I'm expecting something kind of akin to Dread.
Yeah, I suppose Dread is like, it feels like an episode in someone's life, and that's kind of what Mad Max feels like, really.
Good. I look forward to that. I really want to see it. Don't spoil anything for me.
In fact, by the way, I think if people listening to this, if they've got opinions about these films, I think that they should send us in like maybe a review, maybe some kind of article that relates it to talk about the sci-fi ideas in there, because we're skipping over these, but you could talk in more detail about the ideas. Because that's what sci-fi ideas is about.
Of course.
Ideas.
Absolutely.
Next one down, which is a great sci-fi idea.
Yes.
Ex Machina. Machina?
Yes.
People pronounce it differently. So this is a film, and you definitely have to watch this because it's fantastic.
This is the best sci-fi film of the year.
Really? In your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the most sci-fi. It's the most intelligent sci-fi film of the year.
Yeah, okay.
It's not as fun as
it's about
Age of Ultron or anything, but it's a proper sci-fi.
Let's explain what it's about then.
I tried explaining this yesterday to my dad, actually. So what films can I watch? I tried explaining it. I can't explain it.
So a programmer has been selected to... Well, in fact, I'll read out what it says. A young programmer is selected to participate in a groundbreaking experiment in artificial intelligence by evaluating the human qualities of a breathtaking female AI.
Yeah.
So that doesn't.
So
really
this genius guy who basically runs Google or Microsoft, some big company, he's a bit weird, a bit of a recluse as well, and he's made an artificial woman. He's made a robot, and he thinks it's a true AI. So he invites this guy to his lonely cabin in the woods to meet this artificial woman and test, do like a Turing test to see if she can pass as a real person.
Although his intentions are a bit sort of funny, aren't they? Things are very tense. It's got a very tense feel about it.
It's a very tense film. This is where you can't explain anything about it without giving any spoilers.
Yeah, but even if you know the plot is quite simple, really. It's just about the kind of the feel of it and the conversations that happen. It's quite interesting. Definitely worth a watch.
It's a thinky film.
Yeah. In fact, I'd like to watch it again. Even though I know what happens, I'd like to watch it again.
I'd like to watch it again knowing what happens, to see if I pick up on different things.
But it's about the moral quandaries.
It's also kind of like, who's playing who?
Who's playing who?
Everyone
is what's interesting
these
about...
These 3 people in the house, four people in the house, they've all kind of got their own agenda.
Yeah, I'd like someone to write an article about that, actually, for the website. Okay, moving on. Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
it was
which is
absolutely
what you'd expect it to be. Yeah.
It was good. It was fun. Lots of explosions and people getting beaten up.
A bit of character development in that one, actually. Black Widow got developed a bit. I thought I was quite impressed with that. Well, not impressed, but I was happy that it was not just Flashbang Wallop.
Yeah.
Mostly Flashbang Wallop, but still.
But fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I want from it. It's what I expect from it.
Next one down is Pixels.
I haven't seen most of the films from here on it, on the rest of this page.
Yeah.
Can we just skip on to the ones that I have seen? Unless...
Well, that's none of them. I'm going on hearsay. All right, fine. Anything else on Jupiter Ascending? Did you see
Jupiter Ascending, yes, I saw that. And wasn't it awful?
I've not seen it. I've not seen it because you said it was awful.
Oh, God, it was terrible. What a mess. Absolute
mess. This year could have been a fantastic year for sci-fi. In fact,
it could have.
Kind of is.
It wasn't.
Because Jupiter Ascending the trailer looked fantastic.
The trailer, I thought, looked like it could be okay, but no, it wasn't.
What was the problem?
I don't know. It was just terrible. Nothing worked. I think at the centre of it was this supposed romance between Mila Kunis and, what do you call him, the one who all the women fancy?
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, yeah, who is a faun in this, by the way.
A faun?
Yeah. I think he's
Narnia?
I think he's a faun, or is he like half dog or something? He's half dog, that's it.
Like John Candy in Spaceballs.
It's like a metaphor for him being like treated like a dog by this empire, yeah. And so Sean Bean as well, and Sean Bean's just in this film. It's the only thing to say about him.
It's good to have.
It's got some brilliant lines about bees.
Yorkshire.
Some brilliant lines about bees, yeah. That's the one good thing about this film is like you can like quote it in really funny ways. It's just ridiculous. Bees instinctively know who's the queen of the universe, stuff like that.
Oh, of course they do.
But yeah, it's meant to focus on a romance between those two, but they have absolutely no chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
So it fails in that way. And then everything else that surrounds it is just messy sci-fi, wibbly-wobbly Transformer stuff.
So it's just CGI.
It's just CGI.
It's just there for the spectacle.
Yeah, and some good concept designs.
Okay.
Some really epic concept designs for the ships. But then a lot of the concept designs don't work. They try and go a bit steampunky in it, and they've got a scene that's almost like stolen from Brazil. This massive bureaucracy where they're using like typewriter type things. It's like, why? This is meant to be like mega futuristic. Why use that? And then there's actually Terry Gilliam in it.
What?
He does a cameo, and it's just awful.
That is weird. Okay.
It's just such a mess. It's a mess, total mess.
So moving down then, I've not seen any of these other things.
Chappie.
Either Chappie. That was what I was going to talk about. That.
Have you seen Chappie?
I've not seen it. No, I heard it wasn't
very. Oh my god! Wow, Chappie's amazing.
Is it?
Oh,
people told me it wasn't very
good.
Okay,
that might be my favourite sci-fi film of the year.
Really?
Ex Machina is probably the best, but Chappie's probably my favourite. Oh, it's so fun. Okay, it's funny. It's got heart. It's Short Circuit, but set in South Africa and starring two weird South African rappers. It's bizarre and amazing.
All right, okay, I will watch it in that case then.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah.
Watch it tonight. You can't go another day without watching it. It's fantastic.
Really? Is it that good?
I think it is. I love it.
All right, okay.
It's just it's funny, but it's got heart as well, and it's got some good action scenes as well. It's got Sigourney Weaver. It's got like a giant mech.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it's got everything.
Okay.
It's Blomkamp. You know Blomkamp is good.
Yeah, but that's why I was surprised that people gave this one a bad review.
Even when Blomkamp's not good, he's still good. Elysium wasn't particularly good, but it was still good.
It was still good, yeah. Yeah. Okay, if you're listening to this and you agree with Mark, send us a tweet or
in fact, I want people to vote. I want to know what's the best sci-fi film of the year. Is it Ex Machina or is it Chappie?
Okay, yeah, definitely. Okay, so send us a tweet or put when we finish this, we'll put a post on Facebook saying what's the best sci-fi film of the year, and then I want you to go and put a message on that. That sounds definitely like a good idea.
Next one down, I have seen as well.
What is it?
Circle.
Oh, what's
I
that
didn't
about?
realise this was brand new. This is on Netflix. I just kind of stumbled onto it on Netflix. And it's
the idea?
A good
is there a sci-fi idea there?
Yeah, well, I don't know about a sci-fi idea, but it's an idea. These people wake up, they're stood in a circle in this chamber. They think maybe aliens put them there. I think it is aliens. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But every couple of minutes, one of them dies, that get zapped, and they can all control who gets killed.
Oh.
It's like a vote. So they all vote for
okay.
who's going to get killed next. And so they start talking. They can't move if they leave their little circle, their area, then they die. So they're all discussing who should die next, who deserves to live. Can any of them survive? Is there going to be one left at the end? Who deserves to live? And it's just a big argument, a big debate. And that's really fun. It's
that sounds really interesting. I imagine it can't go for very long.
It does. It actually does. It actually works as a film, and I didn't get bored of it.
Okay, right, good. Well, if it's on Netflix, I will find it because I've got no excuse, and I will watch the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I think we should stop this list there, though, because everything past that looks a little bit dodgy.
Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen any of those things.
Yeah. Oh, there's Parallels. It's further down. That's
what's Parallels?
Parallel universes. It's about a building that shifts between universes.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like Sliders, but instead of a wormhole, it's a building.
Okay.
It's really interesting. It seemed like a complicated setup for a series. It felt to me like it was a pilot episode, but for a series that never got commissioned.
Does that mean it's worthless watching then?
I thought it was interesting from a sci-fi ideas point of view. I found it very interesting. Why does this building shift between universes? And it seems to be controlled as well. It's under intelligent control. Who's built it? Who set it up? Why? What's it for?
Okay.
So you go to a new universe. You can leave the building, but you've got to be back in time for its next shift.
Okay. So what do you think they could have made it into a series?
I think you could make a really good series out of this.
What kind of episodes? What would the stories be?
You could do it episodic. So, because you've got your different parallel universes, and the characters go out for a few hours and get stuck and get involved in whatever situation, just like Sliders.
So it's Sliders, but with a home to return to.
Yeah, and then you've got
that sounds really interesting.
A mystery about that home. What is that building for, and who built it, and why? So that's your series-long story arc.
This does sound really interesting. You could do a lot with that.
Yeah.
Such a simple concept.
Yeah, it somehow seems really familiar. As if it's been done before, but I can't think of when it has been done before.
Well, only Stargate, I suppose. You go through a door to another world.
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, you could use this concept on anything, though, couldn't you? You could have something like any kind of building. Like, imagine a chip shop. Imagine the parallel jumping chip shop. Someone goes in, and then they come out, they're somewhere else. They go back in, then they come back out, they're somewhere completely different.
How about a pub? Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be brilliant. You'd have to sleep in the pub, though, wouldn't you? You have to sleep in the pub.
Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I've had this idea. I had this idea when I was 16. It wasn't a pub, it was a coffee shop. Because when I was 16, I spent all my time in this coffee shop in the middle of Doncaster, and I had this idea that it moved through universes. But every time you left, you were somewhere else. Yes. I had that idea.
Interesting.
And never developed it. Damn it.
Well, get it written. Get it written right now. Right. Well, okay. That's a story idea for somebody to create.
Yeah.
If you make that into a full story, let us know, or make it into a short story, and we'll publish it on the website. If it's good, if it's rubbish, we won't. Well, so upcoming TV series. Anything that you're interested in?
Oh, in fact, we haven't talked about the TV series of the year, have we?
Oh, okay.
That's just been films.
What's there been?
There has been. I've just watched Man in the High Castle.
Oh, I've not seen any of
it. Which was good.
Is the whole thing on Netflix?
No, it's on Amazon.
Okay, so is the whole thing there? Can I watch the whole series?
The whole series at once, yes. Which I did. I did binge it. I'm glad I did, because if it was one episode a week, I would have got bored and not tuned in, I think.
Okay.
Brilliant concept, of course. If the Nazis and Japanese had won the war. The characters, unfortunately, are very boring.
Ah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for it, and it has a woman looking at some sort of footage, and she's seeing footage from our timeline as a way to sort of set up the concept, I assume, to show how their world is different to our world.
I suppose so. We don't really need that, though. We understand what an alternate universe is now. We understand that it's alternate history. Surely.
Well, yeah, I think you would start... If you're starting to watch it, you would... That's the one-line pitch, isn't it? It's about a world where...
And it's not a new idea. I mean, the book was written in the 70s or 60s. This has been done several times before. BBC have done this before.
I think Sliders did it as well, didn't they?
Probably. These films are very strange. There's no explanation of why they exist.
Okay, well...
Maybe season 2 will tell us if
maybe that will explain it.
Yeah, the characters are all a bit flat.
It's a shame. It's got to be characters that are good.
Yeah, I don't really care if they die or not. Things. That's the problem. I sympathise more with the Nazis than anybody.
Oh my god!
Well, actually, there was a Nazi
who was
trying to prevent a war. There's a Nazi guy and a Japanese trade minister. They're in cahoots to try and prevent the next war. There's a war coming between the Nazis and the Japanese.
Okay.
It's kind of inevitable, and they're working to stop it. And so, yeah, I like those characters. There's also... Do you remember Lovejoy? The guy who played Lovejoy?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, he plays...
Ian McShane. He played
Obergruppenführer John Smith, who was like the Nazi head of America. And he's got this like perfect Nazi family, but then his son gets... I'm not gonna spoil it. Spoilers.
No, don't tell us the whole plot. Okay, so that's worth watching. I'll watch that. What else have you been watching then? So what else is new this year? In fact, I've got one. Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Which is a cartoon, quite a crude cartoon, but it's definitely sci-fi.
It is definitely sci-fi. It's brilliant sci-fi.
It is. I started watching it thinking, I'm not sure about this. This just sounds like... Because there's a lot of sort of swearing in it, and Rick is the granddad, isn't he? Who's kind of like a Doc Brown figure. And then Morty's the young kid who's kind of a bit of an idiot, and he's quite innocent.
So it originally started as Doc Brown and Marty from Back to the Future. It's based on a short where it was actually Doc Brown and Marty.
But then there was some copyrights.
Yeah. They're not like they are in the films at all. They are completely different characters.
No, Rick swears quite a lot.
Rick swears quite a lot. He's an alcoholic.
He is quite a vile character. He's quite a vile person.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that they go a bit over the top with Rick. I think he swears too much, and he's just a bit too... He's too much. I mean, I don't want to be like a grandpa about it.
Too aggressive maybe sometimes, but...
That's what I worry about. I think it would put a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So I think it is good, but I think it would put a lot of people off because he is such a horrible character.
Yeah. Oh, he is funny, though.
He is funny.
The whole thing is just... That's hilarious. There's some really interesting ideas, original ideas in it
Original
as well.
sci-fi ideas, definitely, yeah.
Really original comedy as well. It's new. Every episode is something absolutely fresh, isn't it?
So, to kind of explain it then, Rick has a portal gun, just like in the computer game Portal, I suppose.
It's more like Sliders.
Kind of like Sliders.
Yeah,
so it's like Sliders. So he uses this portal gun to go into different dimensions or travel space. I don't even know. But he's
space
just going
and time and dimensions and everything. It's kind of like Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
Comedy Doctor Who.
Did you see there was a quiz? There was a quiz on, I think I shared it on Facebook.
Oh.
It was like, who said this? The Doctor or Rick?
Yeah.
And because they're very similar characters because they're both very
grumpy,
both very sarcastic. And, and so he can just nip into any dimension. I like that they're definitely not afraid to make it quite serious.
Yeah.
There's some really harsh things going on. Like, do you remember? It's kind of a bit of a spoiler, but I'm going to say it anyway. The whole world got kind of taken over by these giant insecty type things.
I know where you're going.
And I was thinking, I've seen this sort of thing in TV shows before. It's fine. This kind of thing happens all the time. But what's interesting is how they get it from the whole world's infested with aliens back to normal again. And in this show,
they don't fix it.
They didn't. They don't fix it. They just went to a parallel universe where everything's mostly the same.
They just said, screw this universe, it's done, let's go somewhere else. And they go to a universe where the other versions of them have just died in a horrible accident, so they just take their place.
And they have to bury themselves.
They just bury the other versions of themselves and take the place.
And I thought, that is dark. That is very dark. And I thought they'd just leave it like that as well, but like the episode afterwards...
They mention it, don't they? He looks out of his bedroom window and sees the graves in the garden.
Yeah! And he's like completely traumatised. And I thought, great. These characters have actually got continuity, and Morty's kind of damaged by this. He's got kind of growth. He's changing as a person. It's insane. Yeah.
Definitely a must-watch show.
And then they obviously go a bit into the a few episodes after that. There's different versions of them. There's lots and lots of Ricks and lots of Mortys.
Mm.
Different versions of him going around the universe, around the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's introduced quite a lot of.
Oh, I'll tell you one that I really liked.
Things.
Rick's girlfriend, who is a parasite who infests lots of people's brains. It's like a hive mind. And this is his ex-girlfriend, and she's infested this entire planet. And so they go and visit, and he dates this entire planet of people.
And it's obviously, it's not this... Yeah, because every person that's there is
her. Yeah.
Well, her is kind of an abstract concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really good.
Strange show. Yes, everybody should go and watch it now. It's by the way, that is a Cartoon Network show. It's on Adult Swim.
Okay, right, fine.
So let the people smile. How can I be a virgin now?
Okay, so we should wrap up about now. What we really want is more story starting points.
Yes.
If you have ideas, just ideas for a story that maybe you're not going to actually write as an actual story, but you think that someone else might, send it to us. Well, write it up, send it to us. Where should we send it, Mark?
Send it to mark@scifaideas.com.
Okay, good. And we'll then put it on the website.
Maybe you started a story, didn't continue it, but you think that the first maybe 400 or 500 words or something were really interesting. We could use that as well.
Yeah, that's about 400 words is kind of about right, isn't it, for a?
It seems to be,
for a story.
Yeah.
Starting point. Okay.
Great. mark@scifaideas.com.
Excellent. Definitely, you should definitely do that.
Because we're doing these every week, and it's quite hard to write one every week.
And also, it's really rewarding, isn't it? It's really cool when somebody actually writes a story.
When somebody takes your idea and goes with it and turns it into something, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Especially if they turn it into a short film. Let's keep our fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah. I suppose that's something as well. If you are a filmmaker and you're listening to this, don't know why you would be, but you might be.
Why not?
Yeah, I suppose why not? Actually, that is a good idea, because sometimes people who want a project, they want a film project, they might need ideas.
Yeah,
so
we have a few filmmakers subscribe to the site, as well as writers, game developers as well. Takes all sorts.
Yeah. Okay, good. Right, well, there you go. SciFiIdeas.com is your resource.
Yes.
Right, let's go now.
Okay, yes. See you next year.
Okay, bye.
Well, I'm so very diggy by nature. And if you don't say diggy to your mate, you're gonna lose your power. So let the funny people smile. How can I be a virgin now?